least he doesn't have to take off his shoes. The man chuckled. "I'm Harvey, by the way," he said, and he extended his hand. She shook it. "Skye." "So, where are you headed?" he asked, and tacked on, "Final destination, I mean." "Billings," she replied. He lit up. "Hey, me too," he said. She smiled. "What's taking you there, business or pleasure?" She paused for a moment to munch on a pretzel before replying. "You'll think I'm crazy. I just came back from a comics convention in Providence where I dressed up as Captain America, so no, I won't." For a split second, she pictured him in costume and stifled a giggle with a cough. It was like picturing someone in their underwear. Her eyes narrowed, as if determining whether to trust him. So far, he'd helped her load her carry-on into the overhead bin, made polite conversation with the flight attendant beyond please and thank you, and didn't seem at all bothered by Chip's protests. Yes, she decided. He was trustworthy. Plus, it was just airplane talk, right? He didn't seem like the kind of guy who would live tweet his entire flight. #crazy passengers. "I'm meeting someone," she said. He stared at her blankly, as if waiting for more. "I mean, we know each other already," she quickly added. "We've been talking for months now." "Talking?" "We met online about 6 months ago," she explained, "and we had this instant connection. It was like talking to a man who had known me my entire life. He just got me." Vance Sandler. The name reverberated within her heart, as did his words and inflections every time they talked or texted. She continued. Online chatting led to phone calls and FaceTime, and pet names and sharing best and worst memories and cultivating inside jokes, which led him to coming to visit me in February. They'd spent a glorious 3-day weekend together when he flew into Logan Airport in Boston 7 weeks ago, and they toured the city and walked the Freedom Trail bundled up in 45-degree but sunny weather and stuffed themselves with seafood and made love in a hotel room overlooking the Charles River. She would have been just as happy holing up in her 2-bedroom Warwick apartment, not far from the mall where she worked, but it had been so long since she'd been out, and she reveled in the romance of it all, non-stop hand-holding in Faneuil Hall and Quincy Market, stolen kisses on the tea, and feeding each other forkfuls of Boston cream pie. Being with Vance Sandler was like being in a storybook come to life. Harvey nodded slowly. "So now it's your turn to visit him?" She nodded as happy butterflies with heart-shaped wings fluttered inside her. Not just visiting, moving. Chip howled in his carrier underneath the seat. Skye reached down and put her hand to the carrier's mesh window so the cat could touch her fingers with his nose. Harvey recoiled as if she'd spat on him. "That's rather brave of you." Her smile faded. "How so?" "Moving across country for a guy you only spent 1 weekend with? And after knowing each other for a few months? I'm not knocking you. I'm just saying. It's brave," says the grown man who wears superhero costumes in public. "Well, it's about time I was adventurous," she said. "So why not just put off moving until you visit Billings first?" Who is this guy? The life police? Why should I? It's not like there was anything holding me back in Rhode Island. Well, except for the promotion to district manager that she'd turned down right before she quit her job at Top Drawer. Not that she'd ever wanted to devote her entire life to the retail lingerie chain. "You might not like it," he suggested. How bad could it be if 100,000 people already live there? Plus, it's got a target. "I guess so," he said, clearly unconvinced. "Well, what about you? You live there. What do you think?" He considered her question. "I like it very much. In some ways, it's a scrappy little town. In other ways, it's an active, bustling city, not like New York or even Providence. But it has its appeal. Montana overall is incredible. But hey, now you know someone in Billings besides your boyfriend," he said, with an amiable smile. Something within her stirred.